Hey there. I had two wonderful conversations today with two different people about passing the buck. You know, it's so easy to blame others or to lean on others and to depend on them. We need them to do something for us to get what we want in life. Growing up in church, I heard all the time, you shouldn't be unequally yoked. If your spouse or your partner doesn't believe like you do, maybe you should get a divorce because that's going to hinder you. You want to get to heaven, right? And if they won't listen, if they don't want to be saved, then, well, to hell with them. And the Bible also says that if any two agree on earth, then the Father will grant them what they're asking. And I thought for many years that, there was more power in having someone agree with me. So, as a married man, I'd ask him, here, agree with me on this. And back, years ago, it was, let's pray together. Let's agree in prayer on this. And then as I started diving into Neville, she wasn't as into it as I was at the beginning. She is now. She teaches me things. And so when I wouldn't or failed at manifesting something, I blamed her. It's Kim's fault because she doesn't believe like I do. Oh, if any two agree, if I could just get her to agree with me, then everything would be fine. Well, the two that we're talking about, or the Bible's talking about, is within us. There's two within us, and it's figurative. There's not two. There's just one, consciousness or God or imagination. If you want to use conscious and subconscious, that's fine, and you can look at it that way. The conscious and the subconscious must agree, and when they do, anything is possible. I like to look at it as when my desire and my state of the wish fulfilled, when my desire and my state agree as one. The Bible also says, the King James Version, when any two agree as touching. So when my desire and my wish fulfilled, or my desire's fulfillment, that state or touching become one, then the Father within will grant it. There's the two that need to agree. I don't need to lean on anyone or blame anyone. Stop passing the buck. I used to pass it very quickly. Thank you, not my fault. Send it on. I'll blame someone else. And it's not always just about blaming. It's also about getting things, good things in life. I have the life I have because of this other thing, or because these people, or the job that I had, or winning the lottery. I didn't win the lottery, but we tend to put it on other things, the good, bad, and the indifferent or the ugly. So I want to encourage you to stop passing the buck in every way. Sometimes when something wonderful happens, we tend to, think, well, it happened because of this and that, and I got a raise, so that's why this happened. Nothing happens that you don't allow in consciousness. That's what that verse means in the Bible. No one comes to me unless the Father calls him. No one comes to me. No person, no thing, no experience, no circumstance comes to me unless the Father within calls it. And the Father within is my imagination. Neville says that, when he starts his day in a certain mood, depending on his mood, he will be confronted by people and things to reflect his mood. Everything, even inanimate objects, even the weather. My dog Penny, how we always say that dogs can sense our moods. They can pick up on the vibes. Well, of course they can, because everything is always reflecting my state. Neville says even a book will serve its purpose in reflecting my state. So stop passing the buck. And I'm telling you that after I just finished with a wonderful little encounter with Facebook today. I just finished those two conversations with the two lovely ladies about everyone is you pushed out and passing the buck, and nothing comes to me unless I allow it in imagination or in consciousness. And I started messing around on Facebook with my settings for the Feeling Twisty podcast page. And I deleted myself as admin for my own page. Now, I sat there and I clicked it, enter, confirm, whatever, and then the page disappeared, and I was just kind of stunned, like, what did I just do? Now, I could have passed the buck and blamed Facebook. Damn them for allowing me to do that. They should set it up so where I can't make that kind of mistake. Now, I was able to get someone to call me back shortly, very quickly, and she told me, the support person told me that it would be a couple of days before they could fix the situation, and I didn't want to accept that. I could have passed the buck right there and said, okay, I'll just wait on Facebook because, they don't care about me. But I hung up with her, and I just imagined seeing Facebook or Feeling Twisty back on my admin page. And it turned out pretty good, because in that 2 hours that it took to get my page or get myself back on as admin, I got to think about, what do I want to do with Feeling Twisty on Facebook? And I decided, it's time to start a group, not just have that page to promote the podcast, but to have a Feeling Twisty, a private group for folks like you and me to chat about the power of imagination. So it worked out very well. It wasn't a bad thing. And, you know what? This next story, I'm not going to share with you now. I'm going to use it in my next podcast, episode 196. This is from a lovely young lady who I've shared a couple of stories of hers, or at least one recently, how she's imagining for others. Now, this story is really cool because she turned around years, a lifetime of emotional abuse through revision. She didn't pass the buck. She didn't blame her mother and say, well, this is just the way it is. I have to deal with this and deal with this trauma. And life is hard. No. She boldly revised her life, her childhood, and changed her whole experience with her mother. I'm going to tell you more about that in my next episode, number 196. I love you.